get your Hot Pockets out of the freezer, nuke them, and shove them down and get back to work. Because you don't want to be at work for 9 hours. You want to be there for as little amount of time as possible.
Nuke 'em and puke 'em, dude.
Nuke them and de-puke them. Anti-puke. You eat the food. You
All
eat
right.
the food.
Hello, Garbagetown citizens. This is Castalgia, the Garbagetown Nostalgia Podcast. I'm your host, Dave, and with me we got
SpongeBob.
and
Patrick.
and
Mr. Krabs.
nice. So, if it wasn't apparent already, we're going to be talking about SpongeBob today.
I thought
SpongeBob
we
is
were
the
talking
big...
about Fairly Odd Parents, actually. I want to be Cosmo this time.
So yeah, we're talking about SpongeBob this week. It's something that
No one's ever discussed on a podcast.
yeah, I
That
think
is
that's actually
that
probably
is
true.
over
That's-
20 years
That is
old.
definitely not true.
I mean, just in terms of like a singular topic, it might have been discussed in passing or even as like a tangent, but I doubt there is a I think this is the premier
gotta be-
SpongeBob cast.
there's gotta
be a
Right now.
SpongeBob cast.
Just while we're talking here, I'm gonna just search if there is a dedicated SpongeBob podcast.
I'm going to open
Wow,
this
that would be
can.
interesting.
We can edit that out.
So, sounds like Sebastian definitely has the least amount of experience with the sponge. But
Do we want to all give our experiences with
I am
our...
not seeing any dedicated SpongeBob cast.
Oh my
yeah,
god! I think we should.
There
read-
is
that
the
doesn't surprise me.
Nickelodeon extras casts, and there's
Is that where they
and-
interview just like the guy that says like my leg?
That guy is not an extra at this point. That guy is a featured star.
and then there's this one show that did a SpongeBob episode, but it's pretty
I would watch
pretty
SpongeBob
open.
to do a podcast about it.
We are already doing one, and you
Yeah.
haven't watched it.
If I was doing a weekly SpongeBob cast, I would watch an episode a week.
I'd like
probably.
SpongeBob to have a podcast on the show.
Him,
Yeah, like that would be good. I think just the actors should all just do a podcast in character.
Well, I mean, if
Oh yeah, it'd
that's
sort of be like that plankton
yeah,
commentary.
if it's anything like the DVD for The Big One of the biggest SpongeBob movies that's come out, it's one of the ones that's just for TV. On the
TV
DVD
movies, yeah.
special features, Plankton himself does a commentary on the entire movie.
It's not the entire movie though,
No,
right?
it
It's like
turned out
5
to
minutes of it.
turned out to be clips. It's
Oh, man,
billed
that's-
as commentary, but
It's commentary of a very small portion of the
yeah.
film.
And do you remember any of the jokes? The jokes are
No,
just
they were just
all
bad.
really bad of Plankton, like
Did you guys recently watch this together without me?
not too long ago.
Was
I
it-
didn't
was that
watch
the same
it.
day
I
we
didn't
watched
watch it
Advent
either,
Children?
Maybe. I don't know.
God, I've missed out on all the good movie experiences here.
You watched Food Fight with us.
Yeah, I didn't see Life 2.0.
Oh, that was a good one. We're gonna have
that
to
was-
have a. I'm very
We should
nostalgic
just-
about that movie already.
Nostalgia about Second Life.
Man.
So I want to give my SpongeBob pedigree real quick. I saw the first episode when it premiered
I think I did too.
Live?
live. I was there in concert when
Okay.
SpongeBob premiered his first episode.
You were at the Bubble Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There we
I've-
go. That's the reference I was looking for. But
I-
I couldn't figure out like how to
I've-
say it.
I've definitely seen every episode pre-movie.
Original movie.
Yeah, easily seen every episode pre-movie.
I think
Probably about 5 to 10 times each, actually.
Wow.
I mean, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
I think I've seen them all too up until that point.
Post-movie, I've seen very few
Yeah.
because I'm consistently disappointed with them.
Yeah. They're also all like, they have this like Ren and Stimpy kind
They're
of.
very gross.
Yeah.
This podcast is not about post-movie
See-
SpongeBob, though.
Yeah. This is pre-movie SpongeBob.
As usual, I don't mind the later SpongeBob. This is like Phantom Menace.
I mean,
talk again.
It actually
I
kind of
don't.
is.
I don't think they're that offensive.
I mean, I think that there's plenty of good episodes. I don't know.
That's true.
Like there is some.
I haven't
that are,
seen a
like,
lot, but-
throwaway, but I think that there's still some good ones.
I think
for
That
sure.
episode of Pink, that one was good.
Oh man, I do kind of remember that.
The issue, not the issue. I don't know. I guess not even. It's not an issue. It's just the thing about the post movie SpongeBob episodes is the pre-movie SpongeBob episodes and including the movie are all of a very consistent high quality. Not everyone is top tier, obviously, but they all are. I feel like every episode before the movie is a 7 at least out of 10. Some of them, most of them are about 8. A couple of them hit 9 and 10. Some of they're just all very consistently very high quality. The movie I'd give probably like a 7.
Strong 7.
8 on a good day.
Light 8.
Yeah. Light 8, definitely.
I think I need to change what I said previously about my experience with SpongeBob.
All right.
I think I
just
think
at
every
any
time you
point-
grab the mic, it clips.
At any point
When
in
I
the
touch
cast,
the mic?
Yeah.
Don't
is it
touch it.
clipping right now?
if at any point in the cast
Yes.
you want to adjust your
That's
experience
horrible.
again,
I've been touching it this entire time.
just feel free to kind of go back and discuss updates on your experience.
Okay, I'm gonna So update number 1. I think I've seen more SpongeBob than I thought.
All right.
For some reason, it just didn't stick with me.
Okay.
But I've definitely seen a lot of them.
I'm going to make a claim here that I've seen the most SpongeBob.
Probably.
Really?
Yes,
Why?
because I have.
I think he has.
You don't know me.
I've seen all of the episodes Keenan's talking about. I've seen a good amount of them since then. I had 3 or 4 SpongeBob DVDs of seasons, or whatever they were. They were like 8 or 10 episodes because they weren't really split up
Yeah.
into seasons
I have a-
for the first
I have a few
few
of those
seasons.
too.
I have a couple of the movies. I had several
Okay,
SpongeBob.
okay, yeah. See, that is the distinguishing point, is when you say a couple of the movies.
There's more
I
than
only know of one movie, so I guess I will.
Well, there was
trust you.
TV movies.
There's a lot of like 40-minute episodes.
Yeah, I know those ones.
And I also
think
had
that's
lot
what
of
he means.
I had a lot of SpongeBob shirts. In fact, when
Okay, but that doesn't
Me
have
and
a
one of
bearing
my-
on your viewing.
I think it does.
fandom.
Oh, fandom, yes. You are definitely the biggest fan.
When I was in band in 6th grade, I met my high school best friend Cody, and he called me SpongeBob Kid because I wore SpongeBob shirts all the time.
Wow, really?
I was that kind of kid.
I had SpongeBob glasses.
I was a
5th grade.
hyped up SpongeBob little kid.
Gosh,
Were you like, I'm ready. Were you like that?
I had a custom made, illegally downloaded SpongeBob soundtrack CD that my band teacher gave me in 6th grade that I listened to all
Oh, that's
the time.
nice.
Wow.
Interesting thing, you guys know the song, the Tiny Tim song, the
Yes.
Yeah.
It's called
I'm just going
it's called
away.
Frolic in the Flowers or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, and I know Tiny Tim.
Have
That's
you
not-
ever heard the full recorded version of that song?
Very strange.
Very strange. There's like there's an intro, like a speaking intro. I can't remember if that was special for the SpongeBob thing, but it is Tiny Tim like saying like, no, it must be on just his record. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to be here on my first album."
Isn't it him? Oh yeah, I was gonna say I've seen a version of him. He does an intro on the Dr. Demento show as well, which not the same. He doesn't say it's on his album, obviously. So okay, I thought it might have been the same one, but yeah.
That song is featured in a pretty recent horror movie, Insidious. Do you guys?
Is it scary?
Have
I
any
have
of
not
you
seen
seen
Or
it?
does it
No.
just make you think of SpongeBob?
I don't.
Definitely the scariest scene of the movie involves that song.
Really?
Like,
They were able to overtake your personal like experience of it being a SpongeBob song and make it scary.
yeah. I mean, I think that movie is really, really bad. But
I
that's,
heard it was good.
No.
Alright.
The first half is serviceable. The second half is complete trash.
Sounds good.
So, but
I
this
love trash.
scene with that song, it has that like uncanny thing going for it, where like you just see like it's someone looking through their window and into their house, and it shows a little kid dancing, but like, and that song is playing, but you can't tell if like the kid is CG or if it's a shadow or if it's a real kid where the lighting is just dark or something, but it looks terrifying. It looks like so unnatural. Like
you don't even know if maybe it could just be SpongeBob dancing around.
And the movement's not unnatural. It's like the way this thing is lit, and I'm just like, I'm sure it was like a similar experience to like in PT with the twitching shadow. It like sort of reminds me of like something like that, maybe.
I don't remember that.
There's one of the times when you walk through the hallway, there's like a stronger light from behind you than ever before, and like you see a shadow of the front wall that is just like a person twitching.
Yeah. Seabass, you're gonna need to get closer to your mic, by the way.
It's so close to him.
I feel like I thought I was like the same distance as you. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
You're far away.
I'm far away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I'm looking at the levels and I'm fine, and Sebastian was not.
Sebastian's not talking as loud.
Maybe that's why.
I think it's actually the input volume.
We're both maxed on these.
I don't care.
You know, segue into SpongeBob.
Yeah, I'd
I'm
much
sorry
rather
to
talk
take
about
this
SpongeBob than all this
music.
bullshit.
The music of SpongeBob, amazing.
Definitely something I remembered. Something that stuck with me.
I mean,
What do you
that
mean?
is one of the main things that makes that show stick out to me. It's like it had great, just normal, like
Just the original
score
soundtrack.
is
Yeah,
really
Yeah,
great.
that
And,
music is really
like,
good.
There's just so many episodes that are actually based around music. Like,
The Pantera one's one of my favorites. The one where Sandy's
the ripped my Pantera.
yeah,
Is that what we're talking about?
that song is great, of course. Rip My Pantera, and then
I mean,
the one where Sandy's going to go into hibernation and Pantera did the soundtrack. That is a really good episode.
Wait, what?
When did that? What was
The
that?
one where
The one, yeah.
the one where SpongeBob flies off of something and he goes, "Life's as extreme as you want to make it." That whole episode is music's all done by Pantera.
was it original or was
It's
it?
original for the
But
episode.
when the music
Wow.
cuts off each time, does it end with like a like?
Yeah, the song that goes bam 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 down 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 down, and then right at the end of every one it goes like yeah, basically like it's really cool. Like
Okay, I think,
it's some
yeah.
cool music, and like the whole episode is just accentuated by it because every
Is
time
that the Pinhead Larry one too?
no,
Or no, wait.
because that's a top tier episode.
Wait,
that is definitely the one where.
Wait,
Sandy is about to go into hibernation, so SpongeBob and her do all the extreme shit she wants to do before she goes.
Okay. So that's a
but-
separate one from the one where she like.
Is very
Where she
massive.
becomes a monster.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Through
and that
hibernation.
because she's doing that because she wants to do a bunch of stuff before she hibernates. And SpongeBob wants to do it because she's gonna
Oh, I
hibernate, so
remember
they're not
this
gonna hang
episode
out
now.
for a couple months.
Yeah.
and then he
He
can't.
feels pressure to do a lot of things he feels uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he plays needs to find the hay in the needle?
Hay in the needle stack. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
that's a good
That's a
one.
great joke.
I think that's one. That episode is definitely one that I remember really well.
Do they karate a lot in that episode?
Yeah, they do that. They do like an American Gladiators thing on top of the sea needle, where they just like
A little Seattle shout out.
Yeah.
where they have like the giant Q-tips and they're on top of like the space needle basically,
Wow, yeah.
and SpongeBob's like, I don't think this is safe or something, and she says like, oh, don't worry about it. Go, and then she immediately just knocks him off, and then
Yeah.
this is a great shot actually where he falls, hits the ground, and his legs shoot up through his body,
Oh my god.
and he's I don't remember, are they like actual bones, but they're like
I think-
sticking out of his
yeah.
shoulders,
Yeah.
and it's a very
terrifying.
gruesome scene, and then she goes and just grabs him and they go somewhere else. But that's a good one. That's a good episode overall.
I don't want to change the topic. I'm not changing it from SpongeBob, but
Better be
I think it might
SpongeBob.
be important to talk about our ages. Because I was thinking back of like, why did I've seen so much SpongeBob, but I was wondering why it didn't stick with me. I looked at when those, like we all watched them, I'm assuming when they were airing.
Yeah.
And like, I realized I was like up until the movie, like from the first season until the first movie, the theatrical movie,
You were 2 years
I was like 5 to 10.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like I wasn't super conscious of what I was watching probably for the first couple years of that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, when did it first air?
99.
Okay, so I was 7.
Sure.
Maybe I'm like thinking too much of that age difference, but
Well, no, it's like age difference is really huge when you're that young.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like,
you are about a year younger than I am, and I'm about a year younger than Dave, and so we're all like.
What? Really? You're
Right.
younger than me?
You're 22, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm 21.
Wow.
You're 20, right?
yeah, when you
how many
turn
times we
20,
go through the ages here?
Never.
I've assumed that he was 22 and he was
We've talked
20.
about it
But,
before.
We have?
on the cast.
Well,
No.
Okay.
I mean, I knew how old these guys. I was the only one who seemed to know how old everyone was.
I knew how old everybody
I think
was.
I know.
I
how
knew
old
you
everyone
did too,
is.
Josh.
yeah.
Now you do.
I've always
I
just
knew how old you were.
I've always just had
just
this
kidding.
like this feeling of like wise like this wise aura from
I mean,
Keenan.
he does
Oh,
win.
from me.
He does win. You don't know Jack almost every time.
And I'm like, oh man, he's had so much life experience. He
I'm
just
so
knows
wise
so
and
much.
lively. Yeah, I know. I'm wise beyond my years.
Yeah, it also might just be your facial hair compared to
I have
everyone
much
else in this
better facial
house.
hair
Sure.
than anyone in the house.
Most solid facial hair.
Yeah,
Definitely. It's still not that
Congratulations. In a house of no facial hair, the number
facial-
one facial hair goes to Keenan.
great though. And in a house of no facial hair, the bearded man is king.
Yep. Wow, that's not deep.
That was not SpongeBob related. Are there any good? Actually, wait. We can make this. Are there
What
any good?
facial hair gags are there on SpongeBob?
Yeah. Are there any good facial hair episodes?
Spatial hair.
Spatial hair. The best facial hair gags are definitely in the one where they go into Sandy's place during the winter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they rip all her
That-
hair off
that's it.
and they put on big, like
God, just
big rich
those
man beards.
scenes. It's such a weird. It gives you such a weird feeling when they're slowly making Sandy bald to ripping her
Yeah, they're like,
hair off with tape.
Patrick, are you crazy? No, I'm more.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And
How do you guys remember all this stuff? Like, when's the last time you saw these episodes?
It's been a while.
when I was a kid.
I mean,
Was
But
I
s-
like not conscious or something?
you were
You just-
unconscious.
you
You
just
probably,
haven't.
you probably passed out. When
Yeah,
You
it
just
was
haven't.
prob- it was prob- SpongeBob was probably nap time for Seabass.
It seems as though mostly that you just did not rewatch them to the level that
Yeah.
we did.
Yeah,
I don't remember
I mean,
literally
Nickelodeon-
anything from any episode of Fairly Odd Parents, basically.
Yeah.
But I remember every important quote from SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Because
See,
watched
feel
every
like
episode a
Fairly
lot.
Odd Parents and
or
SpongeBob
sometimes
to
not
me
important.
occupy a pretty similar place in my childhood.
Uh-huh.
SpongeBob's a lot bigger to me.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob is the Nickelodeon cartoon for
Yeah.
me.
I just
Yeah.
don't think I was that aware of quality, honestly, at that
Yeah.
time.
Well,
I just watched whatever was
well,
on.
what's interesting about this is when SpongeBob very first aired, like I'm talking first several episodes,
Yeah,
I did not like it.
yeah, I didn't really either.
I mean, what is the
Like,
first episode? Which is the episode that has
It-
like
it's
no
where it gets
talking for a
hired,
long
right?
time?
it's Help Wanted. Yeah,
Yeah.
And
So
then
when-
there's like a weird second, like
Is it the one where there's no
that
talking?
one's
It's the
format
it's
is
the bubble
actually
stand, right?
weird because I
Help
think there's
Wanted?
3 episodes in it.
yeah.
There's like
Is
one.
Bubble Stand a part of it?
I can't remember what the second.
I think
episode
Bubble
is.
Stand.
Isn't there
is
one with like a flower or something?
Yeah, there's one right after the first one that's like 3 minutes long or 5 minutes long that is like no
Okay,
dialogue.
I remember watching that, and I don't think I saw it when it first aired. Maybe I did, but I remember my sister hating it so much. Is it the episode where like there's a flower, and then like I think it's kind of going between SpongeBob
Yeah.
and Squidward's lawn?
That one, yeah, because
Like-
SpongeBob is he's trying to clean
Yeah.
outside, and so like he's got a sand blower. He's
Yeah.
got like, and so he's like he's got a leaf blower, and so he's trying to like blow the leaves off of
Yeah, I remember
his
that.
lawn, but the one flower he keeps
Yeah.
shooting
Yeah,
basically,
yeah.
and it never moves. Is the
Yeah,
gag.
and I think that was a big part was like there wasn't enough like action or something in SpongeBob where like another show I was really big on was like Rocket Power, and I'm like, dude, this is like sweet, dude.
Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, I was really into Rocket Power.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I was into Nickelodeon in general
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
weird. Like
during that period of
I-
time, but
I feel like a big part also of my experience with like SpongeBob or other Nickelodeon shows was like, because I would watch TV mainly with my parents at that time, And my parents are like, especially my dad, are pretty, they have some pretty strong feelings about a lot of pop culture stuff. And I think SpongeBob just reached a level of insane popularity pretty quick that made my parents assume it was horrible. And my dad was just like, don't watch this show. This is so dumb.
Yeah.
But, like, he did like some Nickelodeon shows. Like, I remember he really liked watching, like, Rocko's Modern Life.
Yeah, Rocko's Modern Life is
That's
great.
an older show.
But I remember, like, that would be on still every now and then. I mean, I remember that show going away, though, also. And, like, for some reason, like, with if I was watching TV, my parents would always be like, don't watch SpongeBob. That's a dumb show.
Yeah.
But then I think they came around to it maybe slightly. Just, like, my dad liked the weirder episodes. Because he definitely liked weird cartoons and stuff. But just, like, the fact that it got so popular, I think made them assume that it wasn't worth watching. And also, like, there was a lot of, like, pop culture, like, guilt in my family, I think. They were just like, don't watch that, it's bad. I also just didn't really watch TV that much. I don't think we had TV, actually.
SpongeBob was also, because of its huge popularity, it was, like, subject to a lot of criticism by parents because, for one, SpongeBob is, like, pretty dumb. And so he's sort of a dumb role model. In a way, like, cartoon characters should not be role models for your kids.
He's literally like what everybody doesn't want their kids to be, like a fast food guy, and he's the most loyal fast food employee. He's just like so dumb, so loyal, like, so easily taken advantage of.
And just everything about SpongeBob in that aspect is a negative thing. But at the same time, SpongeBob obviously is a good friend. He's loyal. He's very nice. Like. Yeah. He's in those aspects. He's definitely the kind of person that everyone should kind of want to be in a way. Yeah. Especially
he's
little
very
kids.
Hopeful and positive.
I kind of think like he is a representation of the qualities people really like in children. Like he would be the best kid.
That's
he just
true.
Happens to be an adult. You know, like because he's really nice to everyone.
He's entertaining.
Like, he's really optimistic.
Yeah.
But and you also have the relationship between him and Patrick, which some of the best buds on TV.
Yeah.
That I've ever.
That was
up there
actually,
with Bert and Ernie.
That was something I was gonna say. Is like, I remember there being a controversy with like the supposedly gay undertones of SpongeBob.
I remember
and Patrick.
that part.
Yeah.
That.
I mean, SpongeBob,
especially exacerbated by the famous episode,
the wrestling one,
where. I was going to say where they raise a child together.
That's right.
Yeah. That's sort of an older, or that's sort of like, that one is a later one, right? Closer to the movie. Like
the fact that they were accusing the creators of that long before that episode.
It probably informed
and then they were
them.
like, let's just do that in an actual episode.
Yeah.
Which I think that there's something about, I don't know, like, they're obviously not gay because they're asexual cartoon characters.
Yes. SpongeBob never shows any kind of real romantic interest ever.
Patrick has a couple times, specifically in the movie, toward the girl mermaid. So I guess you could make the argument that Patrick is bi.
Also, what's the deal with... What happens on the Valentine's Day episode of the theme park?
SpongeBob and Patrick go to the park, right? Or is SpongeBob and Sandy?
Why does Patrick get so angry?
I can't remember that episode very well.
Yeah,
is Mr. Krabs' daughter into anyone?
Is she single, dude?
She
seen anyone right now?
She goes to the prom with SpongeBob, but it's sort of like she doesn't want to.
Okay, I was remembering wrong. I thought maybe like she likes SpongeBob.
No,
SpongeBob is definitely
too much of a nerd.
The thing about SpongeBob is he's a very innocent, childlike.
How old is he supposed to be?
Asexual character. I mean,
it's unclear.
Mr. Krabs' adult employee went to prom with his daughter.
Yeah, I mean, him being a fast food employee kind of implies that he's pretty young, probably. But it's also, there's also the aspect that
he's lived on his own for 10 years now.
Yeah, I mean, he's got like 700 consecutive Employee of the Month awards or something. So, I mean,
he's been there for a while.
There's implications that SpongeBob has been working at the Krusty Krab for like 50 years or something, but. It's all obviously... I mean, I'd say if you want to age SpongeBob, I don't know, mid to late 20s is probably fair.
even early 20s, maybe. Even though maybe logistically, like there is some problems with dates.
Yeah. SpongeBob and Patrick, early to mid 20s. Squidward probably a little older. Mr. Krabs in his 40s or 50s. Pearl is 18. You know, you can kind of just
Pearl is legal.
Pearl's legal for
Definitely.
sure, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's chill that her and SpongeBob hung out.
Yeah. Are we gonna talk about some personal favorites, some classics, so to speak?
Yeah, I definitely do want to give a list of what I think is sort of the top tier A-team SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I
episodes.
think I'd just be able to give a list of what I remember. It's like 4 episodes.
Yeah, what are your?
But
what are
it
your
would be
favorites?
interesting to see what did stick out of.
Should I go? Then?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you start.
The first episode, I would say, did.
Help wanted, like just specifically that part of it, or all?
Yeah.
all
Wait, is that the one where he gets the?
He gets the job. Then there's the leaf blower one.
I don't remember what
Wait,
the
which is the one
first-
where he gets like the intense spatula?
Yes, that's
the first one?
the first one.
Okay, yeah.
Where all the anchovies show up.
Okay, that one stuck with me. The one where SpongeBob gets his driver's license or
Yeah,
tries
that is a
to.
good one.
It's a good one.
The one where they go to rock bottom.
Yeah.
It's called. That
Very
one
good
stuck
one.
with
Yeah,
me.
that one's good.
The Doodle Bob
Doodle
one.
Bob. Probably the
Yeah.
scariest episode as well. Well,
Rock bottom.
Doodle
Bob
one.
and Rock Bottom.
Yeah.
are
The
both
Doodle one
scary.
was probably the one that stuck with me the most because of how scared my sister was of it when it came out.
He
Doodle
is just
Boy
a
could.
nightmare character.
Well, yeah, was about to
Looks
erase
terrifying.
SpongeBob from existence. It was the
And he's
closest
just-
SpongeBob has gone to the theme of like a murderer.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to play something real quick from my phone.
okay, real quick while you pull that up. Speaking of that driver's ed episode, you know how there's that part where he's like, it's like what I learned in driving school is, and like
Are
he's
you
freaking
talking
out.
the one where he writes the essay?
Oh wait, is that it?
Because that's
Are
a
those,
different.
are those two different?
Because there's
episodes?
one where he goes and tries to take the test. He rides that weird unicycle there, throws it in the garbage, fails his test, tries again. Then Gary comes up on his unicycle and they ride home. That's one of them. And then there's another one where she says that they have to write a 500-word essay about what not to do at a stoplight. He gets writer's block.
Yeah.
The episode ends.
Yeah, so with that episode, and then there's the like where he's freaking out and he just has to write what I learned in driving school is. I saw something really funny today. It was like, I'm not sure how much you guys will like resonate with this, but like, it was like, sort of like image board kind of thread. And it was like whenever I actually play online in a fighting game, and it showed SpongeBob's picture, and it was like what I learned in training mode is what I learned in training mode is.
Oh, so it was a sick fighting game community meme.
Yeah, but like the thing that was good about it was, or like I'm not sure how much you guys like understand, but like training mode teaches you all the moves and will go through all these combos, but when you're actually fighting, the application of them and trying to actually remember anything is like, it's that exact experience. You just freak out and then you can't pull off anything, even though you can pull them off in training mode.
So I've got a couple. I just want to pull this up. I think I want to play Mating Call. I just
By
remembered
the
that I
way,
had a Doodle
James
Bob.
Shogren, shout out. He loves that character.
I know. He actually just messaged me.
About that.
I wish. No, it was about Hearthstone.
He messaged me somehow through text, expressed that sound.
And-
The Doodle
Yeah,
Bob made.
just- boy.
Jeff Crenshaw recently put his status, and even though it was just like, I don't even know, I knew he was referencing that because it was like, I think he put Minoy, which I knew it was Doodle Bob.
I'm gonna play Neo Fwin now.
I wonder who does that voice.
I don't know.
I think it's
Tom Kenny.
Yeah, I
Doodle
think it's
Bob
Tom
is
Kenny.
Doodle Bob is a great episode.
That was so scary to me. I mean,
Is that the same one? I remember, like, this is really a sign a little kid, like, the way that you love things as a little kid. It's also a good thing about SpongeBob is that I can watch it now and I get different things out of it than I did when I was a kid. Like, I remember thinking in that episode when Doodlebob drops the wrench on Patrick's head when he's in the bottom of the well and Patrick says Finland as the funniest thing. I literally had a VHS tape that I would rewind and watch over and over again.
Yeah, Finland?
Finland,
joke. He just, like, he gets hit on the head and he just, like, goes, Finland! Like, he's been knocked on the head. It's no joke. It's like a random joke.
Okay.
It's good. It's one of my favorite. It was for a long time, at least one of my favorites as well.
One episode, I'm not sure what episode this was, but I remember this joke. Like, SpongeBob has to draw a perfect circle, and he draws like some really elaborate face and then erases it. What episode is that?
I think that it's Squidward Art School.
Squidward.
So that was
so funny.
definitely another episode that stuck
Bold
with
and
me.
brash.
I was gonna say in the new SpongeBob movie, the most fan servicey moment possibly, they redo the Finland joke.
Really?
Patrick gets hit on the head and he says Finland again.
That's funny. That's good. That's a good callback to it.
Joke.
How did you feel as a fan who obviously knew about the joke?
I mean, I felt like, oh, okay, but I didn't laugh.
Okay. Because, I didn't know if you would be like, oh my gosh!
No.
Or like...
No, I felt a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's always an uncomfortable, like...
Yeah.
Experiences like that can be weird.
Yeah.
It's like you take... Especially, like... Because sometimes it can expose, you're like, oh my gosh, I thought that was funny. Like...
Totally. I would like to say briefly, though, because I'm not going to talk about it because nobody else saw it, that the new SpongeBob movie is really good.
Yeah, that's the. I can't believe I haven't seen that. Well, we were gonna go on Valentine's Day, but
we just had to see
didn't end
50
up
Shades
working out.
instead.
Yeah.
That we just had to see 50
Mr.
Shades.
Gray will see you now.
Is he a doctor?
What do you mean by your...
wow.
Dr. Gray.
I know, I mess with the...
This is my playroom. Do you have like an Xbox in here or something?
Did you guys see that SpongeBob 50 Shades of Grey poster?
No, I don't want to.
It was like the movie poster from 50 Shades of Grey, but it's SpongeBob's silhouette, and then it says Mr. Squarepants will see you now.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Pretty funny.
That's funny. But so...
I think those were the main episodes that really stuck with me.
So let's
Actually, no.
relist them again real quick.
Okay, I'll just try to do the run to remember. So the first episode,
Okay.
the Squidward Art School episode,
Oh, okay.
Driver's Ed episode, Doodle Bob, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna say other ones I remember. The Pretty Patty episode,
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
the one we talked about with Sandy when they're doing all the extreme stuff.
Yeah, Pantera.
A lot of the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy episodes.
Yeah.
How many were there? There's more than
There's like
There's quite a
5
few.
at this point.
The
There's-
evil episode is so
Yeah.
good.
Really good.
It's so good.
Which
Do
one?
you guys
Oh, yeah.
remember, I don't know if you guys watched this live, when they did the like vote to choose the ending episode. Did you guys watch that?
I don't remember.
There was a live SpongeBob event. It's the episode Shanghai, if you guys remember it. It's like the Flying Dutchman. They're doing some kind of stuff with the Flying Dutchman, and then at the end of the episode, they get a wish. from
Oh,
the
yeah,
Flying
that's a good
Dutchman.
one.
And the live episode was everybody votes, because at the end it could either be SpongeBob, Patrick, or Squidward who gets the wish.
Yeah.
And everybody called in to vote who they wanted to get the wish.
Oh, wow.
And there was 3 endings. They did show all of them. I was really mad because SpongeBob got it and I wanted Patrick to get it.
Understandable.
Oh wait, sorry. Another episode that really stuck with me. Before I forget, I think this is probably the last one. Is one where SpongeBob can travel between people's dreams or something.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a really
Yeah,
good one.
interesting
It's a
one.
classic.
Yeah. It's an older one, right?
I remember really liking that one. I thought it was like
I mean, that's a creative episode idea, and they
Yeah.
got to do a lot of weird stuff
Definitely.
because of it.
Yeah, and Patrick's dream is just really funny.
What
He's
was his
just
dream?
writing
Like
a
like SpongeBob is like, you can do all these things, but he's just writing that like
seahorse.
yeah. And
Is
he's
it
like,
like a quarter machine?
Yeah.
And he runs out of
he
quarters
runs
at
out
one-
and then he just sits there. He's like, "Hmm."
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I think so for me, most of them have stuck with me. Like I was thinking just now of my favorites list. I was thinking that a lot of them but if I had to like just say like some of the absolute definite best ones, the first one with the Flying Dutchman, where they go, I think it's a Halloween episode, and it's SpongeBob and Patrick and the Flying Dutchman, and like he pretty much like has them as his crew. I don't remember what.
Is that where they're looking for the treasure?
No,
Okay.
like, well, I don't remember exactly. I just remember that's
it's
the one.
that SpongeBob is like parking. Right?
Yes,
And-
specifically the gag is when he goes like,
Yeah.
Patrick is driving and SpongeBob's like,
You're
"You're good, you're good," and they're just destroying the side of the
Yeah.
boat. That one's good
And
overall.
then you also have the classic.
Yep,
Howl into the night gag.
Yeah, that one's like everything about the episode is really good.
Yeah.
So that's
Very
a
good on
really
this.
good one.
Is the perfume scene in that?
That's in the Shanghai episode I was talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, that one's good too. It's
Man,
hard
the
to see.
perfume scene is great.
I think.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So just real quick, the interaction that real people
Yeah.
like have in the show, and like those like
The cuts to live action stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, those are
so
always funny.
awesome.
A big thing that stuck with me in SpongeBob overall was just like the different types of animation they had, like both the normal one, the really detailed drawings
Yeah.
of like close-ups of people's faces, really scary. I remember
Yeah.
live action was also scary to me, and then also whenever a lot of times when SpongeBob was driving or something, it would be like a CG, 3D
Especially
rendered
newer
thing.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that stuff really was like unsettling. We've talked about that, like animation changes being kind of weird,
Yeah.
but that stuff really stuck out to me.
yeah.
I remember distinctively the episode that ends with SpongeBob being scrubbed in a toilet, like live action sponge being
Oh,
scrubbed.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Wait, which is
That's a good one.
the Sandy episode we talked about? That's not the one where SpongeBob pretends that he doesn't need to have water, right?
No, that's a good one.
Okay, that one also. That one I remember being so terrified of the image of SpongeBob
starts
when he's
getting
dehydrating.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that episode. Wow, I'm actually now that we're talking about it, I'm definitely remembering
Yeah.
a lot more SpongeBob stuff than I
Also,
expected.
there's the episode where they go out of the water, like they're all like
Just for a minute, basically. Like,
yeah, they're because Sandy's like daring them, but they're all like scared to like breach the surface, and then when they breach the surface, they're like SpongeBob is actually a sponge, and like Patrick is actually
Yeah.
a starfish, and then Squidward is like this weird like clay.
Yeah, he's
Molding of a squid.
scary looking.
yeah, because right when he gets up, everyone looks at him and he goes, "What?"
Yeah.
Like, why do you? Yeah, because he
Yeah.
looks weird.
And then they get attacked by the
Seagulls.
seagulls on sticks, which like that must have been really hard to do.
Yeah. That part's cool.
What do you guys think about Squidward in general? Like, it seems like a very weird character.
Necessary character.
I mean, he's just a classic neighbor character. He can just fulfill any
Classic
role.
foil.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there's certain aspects to Squidward that are weird. Like,
I love that he has like the secret feminine art.
that's the thing.
side.
Like, I feel like that's a big part. Like, what I think
It's
is
funny
Squidward,
that he
yeah.
is a grumpy character who also has like the most artistic, like soft interests.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when I think of like Squidward, it's like he's slightly older than SpongeBob in my mind. He's probably more unhappy working the job, like just
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
by
but
far.
because he doesn't
Clearly
like
is.
it, but also because he's older, and I feel like he's just like, I don't know. I always thought of him as like kind of slightly probably depressed
Yeah.
yeah,
artist type
and-
who's working
and
at a
the-
job they don't feel
Yeah.
fulfilled
Yeah, and the
by.
dark edge to it is he sucks at all of his
Yes.
art, like art.
Oh, is
I
he
mean-
really bad at clarinet?
Oh,
Is that,
yeah.
I forgot.
He's just
Really
a
bad
failed,
at clarinet, and then in the art school episode, you see that like he has no talent, and SpongeBob is like way better than
Yeah.
him.
That is so sad.
Yeah. I mean, he's just a
Wow.
failed.
Except at the very end, you see that he makes like this great thing by like
Screaming at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the,
Yeah.
the same thing happens when in the bubble stand episode when he like gets really mad at like not being able to make like these awesome bubbles, and then he just screams into the wand, and it's like just a huge bubble.
I think the way Squidward is treated was something that was a little bit off-putting to me in the show. Like, I wanted to see that character have more
You wanted him to get
victories.
redemption.
Yeah, and like,
But the reason he nothing ever goes well for him is because he's a horrible person.
Well, yeah,
He's
the thing
extremely
is,
mean,
Like,
like-
in that art episode, like Squidward is his own worst enemy. Like he whenever something good is made, he's like, we need to do this thing to it to make it right, and it makes it way worse. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't remember that. I didn't like remember
and
those things about Squidward.
SpongeBob is a very positive, like,
Yeah.
SpongeBob
guy.
loves
he's
Squidward's
so
art.
And-
nice to Squidward.
and-
Okay. See, I
Squidward,
I forgot that was
like,
like part of
just
the relationship.
hates him because he's bitter.
Yeah, and like Squidward does get like his moments of like redemption or whatever, like with the Bubble Bowl episode.
Yeah.
Like things go horribly, but eventually like it goes fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, anytime Squidward finally agrees to work collaboratively with
Yes.
SpongeBob, it works
Yeah.
out. Because SpongeBob is a talented individual, for one, and also is a person with unrelenting good attitude.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, sort of two things that Squidward lacks.
Yeah.
But mainly the attitude. Like, I think it sort of implies that because SpongeBob is very positive, got a great attitude, I think that's sort of implied that that's part of why he's so good at the things he does, is because he tries really hard.
Yeah.
And I mean, everything he does, he tries really hard, but also
He's just naturally.
he's
good at
always
stuff.
willing to try hard. You know what I mean? Like, and then Squidward, it seems like he kind of just wants everything to come to him.
Yeah.
Like I
But-
don't know. And he's
but-
also
but-
got a bad
but-
attitude.
But also the things he aspires to, like he holds them up on a pedestal, but then you see that like maybe they're the wrong things to like.
Yeah.
Like I'm specifically thinking of like, the Tentacle Acres episode.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too.
Yeah, where like
And just in general, his relationship with Squilliam. It's just like
Yeah.
Squilliam
Yeah,
is
he-
the rich,
Squ-
like flashy.
Squidward wants to be this like high class,
Yeah.
like elite person, but like in that episodes he and he realizes in that episode, but then like he still plays that character mostly through that show, but like he realizes like that lifestyle is like so devoid of
Yeah.
value, and like
I think you could see SpongeBob as having a lot of commentary about
Definitely.
class,
yeah, totally.
and like in a pretty cool way. I think SpongeBob is a representation of someone who, through their positivity or whatever, isn't bothered by having a job that a lot of other people
Yeah.
would think is unfulfilling. Squidward is someone who, like, is unfulfilled in most areas of his life
Wow.
because he's pretty negative.
I mean, yeah,
And,
SpongeBob
like-
is fulfilled by himself. Like, he finds fulfillment in the things he does.
And it's
Yeah, and I think it's like pretty telling that SpongeBob, someone who doesn't care about money, is very happy.
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs, someone who's completely obsessed with money, is pretty unhappy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
think that's a
Mr.
pretty
Krabs'
good-
happiness goes with his money.
Yeah.
And I
Like,
think-
it's very fleeting.
I do like. I mean, I think it's pretty important that like the portrayal of like wealth and stuff in especially kids shows, because there's definitely a lot of shows I've seen, like children's shows, where they really emphasize the value of money, and I can't help but feel it's a little bit worrisome. But like here, I mean, not like to say that money's bad or whatever, but just like in SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs, someone who's definitely obsessed with money, has like a really unhealthy relationship with money, and like treats people badly because of his desire for money. Like he's shown as being kind of a crazy person.
Yeah.
I think that's probably a good thing.
I mean, yeah, SpongeBob obviously has shown that he doesn't have any love for money, but he has a job and he works hard. So he obviously values it, you know, in some way. You don't see
but it's
him-
also just like he loves his job.
That
yeah,
too,
and he
of
just seems
course.
to be a people pleaser and
Yeah.
loyal, and he just wants to make Mr. Krabs proud.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, he has flaws.
Even though
mostly,
Mr. Krabs is like one of the most like corrupt like bosses.
Does Mr. Krabs is he ever really redeemed in any way, or like is
mean-
does he ever?
I mean, a lot of times he's just very nice to SpongeBob, which
They
kind of
never
helps.
really like let Mr. Krabs overcome his like being driven by money, if that's what you mean. I mean, Mr. Krabs has more going on. Like, there's episodes where he has more to his character, like where he's trying to be cool. There's the episode where Patrick and SpongeBob are like leading Mr. Krabs around town. Mr. Krabs like wants to be young.
Oh
again.
yeah.
on his panty raid.
Yeah. That episode like is I remember actually watching that with my mom around and being uncomfortable because they were like
they're going on
the, yeah
panty
the
raid.
panty raid like it's actually pretty like suggestive and everything. It was like wow, I can't believe this show is like doing this.
I think if you think about a lot of the characters just as like real, like what their real world representations would be, they're pretty interesting choices. Like, I don't think they're the most conventional character types.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah, I'd be interested to think about it. Who do you think Mr. Krabs is? Donald Trump.
literally Andy's boss.
Yeah, he's just like the
Is
boss.
that like a famous archetype? Like the,
Yeah, I mean,
the
I feel
overly
like
frugal
there
like fast
is a
food
thing. There's a
restaurant owner?
character who like runs a crappy business and is very cheap and
Yeah.
is.
I mean,
But the Krusty Krab is also really successful.
That's true.
yeah.
That is the twist on it, that they actually have a product that people love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like SpongeBob follows very I wouldn't say rigid because they do every character has a twist on but they have every character is a very classic like archetype that I mean like every character has like an archetype that you can trace all the way back to like you know the most ancient of text kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
And
Like,
I think like there's probably there's probably a pretty strong philosophy behind SpongeBob. Honestly. Like,
definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, also I think with Squidward's character, the fact that like, sure he kind of wants to be an artist, but a lot of the reasons he's unfulfilled is because he is really bitter and.
Well, and it's also class based. It's like image
Yeah.
based.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like SpongeBob. If you want, I mean, like I'm trying to think of like a specific model, but it's like if you go with like the Joseph Campbell like hero's journey kind of model, like you know, SpongeBob is of course the hero of it, and then Patrick is like the loyal friend, the sidekick, and then I don't know.
Sam.
I guess you kind of have Squidward as sort of an antagonist a lot of the time. Just because he kind of tries to foil SpongeBob's plots, like, but SpongeBob's plots are hang out with Squidward a lot of the time, or like do something nice with Squidward, which he then ruins, or
I also think
something like that. And then like Mr. Krabs is in some strange way the mentor, because he does look up. SpongeBob looks up to him quite a bit, like, and Mr. Krabs does give him good advice sometimes. But it always has a twist on you should love money at the end, which sort of makes the character funny.
One thing I think is also interesting is thinking about I'm not trying to get too into these characters or whatever, but think about Plankton in relation to Mr. Krabs.
Oh yeah.
As someone who wants everything Mr. Krabs has.
Yeah.
But also like
It's just like the embodiment of envy.
But I also think that Plankton's kind of a pretty tragic character because like
Definitely.
I get the impression because I think they show the humanity in Plankton more often from what I remember than they do with Mr. Krabs.
Yeah.
So it's kind of thing where it's like if Plankton had what Mr. Krabs had, maybe he would be a better boss.
I think that's possible.
Like
very
because
true,
it seems like in general what Plankton wants is for people to like him, to like what he
Yes.
makes,
as
and to have
opposed
friends.
to money.
You know, and
yeah,
like
he doesn't even care about the money really.
yeah, but then again, maybe Mr. Krabs is more an example of what Plankton how he would just be just as bad if he did get what he wanted or something. I don't know,
Maybe.
but
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think both of them would kind of be jerks, but as they still
I
are.
mean,
But
it's-
Plankton
yeah.
would be an egoist,
Yeah.
while Mr. Krabs is just a capitalist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
what
Like
is-
they both have their sort of evil drives.
and I just think that you happen to see more
What is
of.
Plankton's computer called?
Computer.
Karen.
Oh,
Karen.
it is.
I do
His
think like
computer wife.
His wife.
you see more redeeming qualities in Plankton, but I think that's just because like since Plankton's the obvious antagonist, kind of
You have to.
they
humanize
wanted
him.
to humanize him, and also there's like
Yeah, but sometimes they humanize him and then immediately like take it away at the end. Is like, but he's still like a jerk. Like,
Yeah. And I mean that's
yeah.
important in a kid show to sort of have defined good and evil all the time.
And I think
Yeah.
and I think it's important because I think I mean, I don't know. I don't think I'm reading into it too much, and I wonder how conscious they were of maybe like what they thought the themes of the show was and how kids would react to it. But like, I think it's important having a slightly empathetic, like evil character.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like, that's just a healthier thing I think for kids to see, especially because they're like, oh wait, this person's mean, or like Squidward's grumpy because he's bitter because he feels unfulfilled. Plankton's mean because he just wants friends and he doesn't feel like anyone really wants to spend time with him because he doesn't think he's valuable or something.
Yeah.
So I think like being empathetic towards those characters is pretty good. They're not just like
Definitely.
obviously just evil and 100%
and a lot of that I think goes back to, I mean, for one, that's just good writing. I'd say like it just shows like the writing in SpongeBob is generally good, and so like that's just something like that any entry level like in college English class will tell you to do, which not a lot of, obviously most kids shows really don't, which is a part of why none of them stick. But then once, you know, the SpongeBob writers and mostly like the show director, like just had that vision of like, I mean, SpongeBob was, I feel like, one of the first cartoons for children of this era that was like not trying to go for a direct moral like a lot of the shows from like the 70s or 80s had like G.I. Joe has a direct you know, terrorism is bad kind of stuff. I think like it kind of
takes a like page out of like the adult comedies of the era, or like Seinfeld and like stuff like that, of just like not being afraid to be about more real life.
For sure, yeah. And I mean,
smaller problems. And
yeah, SpongeBob just, I think part of the strength of it as well is that it definitely was directed at a mixed crowd, because Fairly Odd Parents specifically, just because it was a show that started around the same time and was similar levels of popularity for a while until being like completely overshadowed. For one, SpongeBob always was a higher quality, which I think definitely helps. But SpongeBob, you can tell that they're aiming for the parents a lot.
Yeah.
And they do something crazy, but the punchline is something that your mom will think is funny.
Yeah.
And so like it appeals to both, while like a lot of the cartoons of the same era and most cartoons will just do something stupid, which is an easy joke directed only at the little kids that don't know any better, you know what I mean? Like
I feel like something like Fairly Odd Parents, it's more divided. There's like the jokes that are obviously like in SpongeBob, I think they made jokes that just you can get on two levels.
Yeah,
definitely.
Fairly Odd Parents, it's like those have a character that's like they have that like Arnold Schwarzenegger character, you know, like which a kid, like a little kid's not gonna get that, and the parent would. But I don't think that's making a joke work on two levels. I think it's literally just like putting something in.
Yeah. Or the Adam West character. But I actually kind of like that character.
There's an Adam West character in Fairly Odd
I only
Parents?
knew about the one in Family Guy.
What was it?
Catman.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And there's also that like Britney Spears character,
and the NSYNC character.
Yeah.
Isn't there also is there a character that kind of based on the what's that like? I think gay like workout TV.
Yeah. There's a
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons.
I mean, it's just those are just direct references where the character is stupid and like easy to make fun of, and the parents will know who he's based on.
Yeah,
and the thing is, like, it's definitely.
I think most of them are bad, but I really like Catman for some reason. And I think it's just because Adam West's character is funny, and also it's the easiest joke.
Yeah,
definitely. Catman, I think, is pretty good. Yeah. But SpongeBob is just a show that is written better than other cartoons. I mean, there's literally everything about SpongeBob set it up for staying power.
Yeah.
And because
there's not like, it doesn't place itself in time. There's not like a lot of pop culture, like really current stuff going on.
It's a similar.
It has all the makings of a classic.
Mm-hmm.
SpongeBob, I feel like, has had sort of a similar run actually to The Simpsons, in the fact that there's
more now of the pop culture stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like there's an early period that is considered the golden age of both of them. What?
So what kind of pop culture is referenced by modern
SpongeBob? I mean, if anything, there's just more guests now.
Okay.
Like,
I think it's interesting because I just
pretty like
There's a lot of guest stars.
insular
Yeah.
like thing for years. Like
I guess
really
like
not
yeah.
that many new characters got introduced. Like not that much stuff outside of the.
I was just wondering, like,
Main
I was like,
canon.
what kind of references or pop culture stuff do kids like?
I haven't really seen any actual references. I've just seen like
A lot of guest
Pink,
stars, though.
Johnny Depp.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it is the kind of thing like early Simpsons and SpongeBob is just pure that show. Like very, early SpongeBob is just very SpongeBob. Early Simpsons is very Simpsons. And then they sort of have an evolution where they kind of both, like, I feel like SpongeBob sort of peaked in the third season. Simpsons, you can say, peaked at exactly the same time too. But, Simpsons had a period where, not the very beginning, but a little later, that was considered like the very best.
I didn't know that the showrunner or creative director changed after the movie.
Yeah, and that's a big aspect too. But both shows are now sort of in a point where the core of the show feels like it's not quite there. Definitely can still be good. Both of them can still be very funny, but like it's just much more fleeting when it is like, and both of them are now a little more stuck in time. Because of like The Simpsons now, it's a lot of pop culture jokes, direct pop culture, which easily will fade away once nobody cares about Twilight anymore.
Yeah.
And then same thing with getting Johnny Depp or somebody like that to guest star. Mm-hmm. It just because eventually, if the episode isn't good, it doesn't matter that Johnny Depp guest starred.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I definitely would say that right now, SpongeBob is much closer to its original level of quality than Simpsons.
Yeah.
But they both kind of are on a downward path.
I feel like maybe this is just, I'm totally just making this up, but I feel like both those shows also went through animation changes,
Yeah.
Definitely.
from a hand-drawn thing to
it's way cleaner.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm assuming it's faster with whatever they do now.
Definitely.
I'm assuming
Yeah,
Yeah, it
and that's
has
what
to
I was
be.
gonna say too. Is I mean, like that's just what happens to an animated show as it goes on.
It's
And,
it looks much worse now, I think, though.
but it's also the thing where it's
looks
like
less like
that.
personal and identifiable.
That's what I mean.
I'm
of course,
guessing
yeah.
that must affect the writing because like if you're hand drawing everything, and you know how long that takes, like. I mean, again, maybe I'm totally like making this up, but like, imagine if someone's hand drawing a joke that's bad. That's more taxing.
That's definitely
than
true.
Putting together like animating a joke that's bad now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I just feel like the amount of time spent on writing an animation, like stuff had to be like at a certain quality before they even started.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is just that Steven Hillenburg isn't there anymore. And he obviously was sort of the heart of SpongeBob. Because once he left after the movie, the quality is just far less consistent. Like, yeah. I think that's... Steven Hillenburg was the heart of SpongeBob. And, it's still good, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
But...
a couple other episodes I was thinking about are the obviously Band Geeks is important. The 24-hour Krusty Krab episode,
Definitely.
great one.
I know.
Oh, the you mean with Nosferatu?
Yeah,
Definitely.
the Nosferatu
Great
ending
episode.
gag.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yes.
remember that one. What's
Great
the episode
episode.
with the guy who like hides the pickles under his tongue?
That is the most pop
I don't
culture references that SpongeBob does. Is strange old stuff
Yeah,
like that.
no, like 13 or however old, like no 10-year-old knows who Nosferatu is.
And that reference works because that is a classic movie
Yeah.
that will always be
It's like
remembered.
it's almost like referencing like King Kong or something.
Yeah.
Or Shakespeare.
Or Citizen Kane.
Yeah, like you can always reference those things and it'll always be semi-topical.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
what you guys are saying about like SpongeBob really setting itself up to be a classic seems really true. Like,
definitely.
yeah, there's
all
nothing
the-
that seems outdated about it.
I feel
mean-
like SpongeBob has referenced Shakespeare a few times as
Oh,
well.
for sure. Like,
Yeah,
for sure. I don't know any direct examples,
I would
but
have to
I
think
know
of
it
it.
has. I mean, I'm sure there's at some point some Hamlet joke with a skull. Like,
Yeah.
everything has done that.
Wow, that actually sounds so familiar now that you
Yeah.
bring it
I know.
up. But like, I just can't think of it.
But
What were the other episodes you were?
The cursing episode.
cursing.
Oh,
I mean,
Cursing episode
there's
is good.
too many great
The
episodes to list.
Ugly episode's good.
Which
too.
one?
The ugly
What is
one where they eat
ugly?
the peanut ketchup sundae and then they think they're ugly rather than their breath stinks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's so many.
Weenie Hut Jr.'s,
Weenie Hut,
the painting, getting the paint on the
Chocolate Salesman.
original dollar.
Okay.
Chocolate Salesman's so good. Training video is really, really good too.
I think
and
I gotta
different episode.
Yeah, that's what really like. I remember watching the training episode for the first time and not wanting it to end.
Okay? There's an episode like I'm not sure if I totally remember it, but somehow I think SpongeBob and Patrick end up helping a criminal. Some guy
Is
like
the Flats one? Where
The Strangler
Flats
one?
is funny, regardless.
I think it's a Strangler one, maybe.
The Scranton Strangler.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his name is, but yeah, the Strangler guy. I don't know. That is a good one. That one's a later one, but a very good one.
Yeah.
I want to. Everybody just. I want to list each of us like top 5 episodes if you possibly can, because there's so many good ones.
I don't know if I can do that, but
I can get. I can definitely. I know I can definitely give.
I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna give 5 that like. I think,
Or at least try to give your top 5. I think is actually too hard, but top 1 if you can do it. I feel like that's easier usually. I think that's easier if you can just say your favorite if it's possible.
Just your top, however many, a handful. Like, it could be 1 or it could be a few.
Yeah, just do a couple though, like of the the tip top very best ones.
Yeah, I've listed a lot of them, but like training video. And then the Mermaid Man one with Evil is the same one where like they all get powers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that one.
It's interesting that they came back around to that for the new movie, and they're different.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I mean, they all are superheroes in this new
Oh
movie.
yeah, that's right.
Because in the other one they just wore the costumes of the old heroes, but
Yeah,
now they're their own hero.
Yeah.
My favorite was definitely Squidward's when he was a volcano.
Oh yeah.
Or SpongeBob's where he could run really fast. Because the gag where he says, "You want to see me running? You want to see me run to that rock and back? Want to see me do it again?" Where just nothing happens. Like actually,
but also the touching the toes.
The better
gag.
one is Patrick's, where he's standing in one place with his arms out and he says, "I'm gonna touch my toe," or I said, "I can finally touch my toes," and his legs wrap around the back of him, and his toes touch his hands, which is good. I mean, there's too many good. The thing, like my biggest thing that I can say about pre and post movie SpongeBob, all of my top favorite episodes that I talk about all the time and love are pre-movie.
Yeah.
Not to say there's not quality post movie, but they just don't have like the spark.
Yeah. I also got to give a shout out to Sandy Missing Texas episode.
Yeah.
Where that's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Like original songs that they did.
Yeah, I think for me, I can't list all my top favorite, but I think I just think that the very best episode of SpongeBob, the pinnacle of SpongeBob, is Pancakes. I think it's definitely the
Pancakes
best
is just good.
It's got everything.
Yeah.
It's got a great original song,
Really great jokes.
great jokes, classic jokes. Like
Ver-
every
It's just-
single joke is a classic SpongeBob joke.
You got the mayonnaise joke.
You just also love to see like all of your favorite characters like doing a new thing.
Yeah,
and, like,
every
everybody
character-
gets an instrument.
Every
and-
character
Yeah.
is in that episode, which
Yeah.
is great. Squilliam, and it's also the best Squidward episode because
He wins.
He wants to get a band together to impress Squilliam, and it doesn't work out. SpongeBob, being the good person that he is, wants to help his friend Squidward, even though he doesn't deserve it. Puts together the greatest band he possibly can. And then Squilliam dies. Well, he has a heart attack. He has a heart attack at the end.
he gets taken out on a stretcher.
Yeah, see, that song is so classic. I always looked up trying to find who that song was actually by. I had no
Is
idea
there
it was
anywhere
original.
you
at first.
can
forgot
stream
who it was.
SpongeBob? Is it?
You can go on like Project Free TV or Amazon. I think Amazon has them actually.
Okay.
But you
Do
can
you,
get it.
do you guys remember Video Nows?
Yeah, dude. Those little
weird Nintendo like
Oh.
portable video players. Before
Yes.
portable
Oh my
video players.
gosh.
Very strange.
I had
the way it looked, the way that they like downgraded the
Yes.
animation. It was like sort of like a original.
I mean, they were
Game
black and
Boy or
white.
something.
Yeah.
but it was worse than just being black and white. It was like
They looked awful.
I had
32-bit or
Yeah.
something. It was very
Juice
weird.
box.
I had like a Fairly Odd Parents episode on a Game Boy Advance cartridge.
Yeah.
Whoa,
They did that too, yeah.
that's interesting.
Those were much better than
I'm
video.
sure
It
games.
that
was.
would be better.
I
yeah.
feel like it wasn't an entire episode.
Wow.
It was a
It
half
was
one.
clip
maybe
show.
15.
Did it like
minutes.
actually?
I mean, was it half
Anim-
of an episode?
How did it work?
I mean, it was
Was
just
there
a
a
little,
menu?
It was just a video
No,
file.
you turned it on. And just,
It just
I think there were two. It was probably a full episode, like because I think Fairly Odd Parents had the same like 15-minute thing. So
Yeah.
you could just
Yeah.
choose which one you're gonna watch.
Man, if you still have that, I'd love to see how that
Yeah.
looks.
Man, I wish
Mike, I
should-
thought of that because
You should
Mike,
Google them. I'm
Mike
sure you
had
can
the
watch
band-
them on YouTube.
Mike had the Band Geeks episode on video now.
Yeah, my cousin Frankie had that on Juice Box, which was a competing. It was the same exact
Okay.
shit product. Competing though, I think
Not
it was.
the-
I think Juice Box was a little later, and it was in color.
Okay.
And
I mean,
so that was a
the
big-
one I had for Game Boy Advance like looked fine. Definitely, I think it had like a lower frame rate and definitely was like, pretty bad quality. But it was full motion color.
Yeah.
The
I just
audio
realized-
was okay.
I had the Kool-Aid video now because I bought mine with Kool-Aid points.
So the
It was a Kool-Aid themed video now.
like the actual case.
It was a
like,
red Kool-Aid
Wow.
red video now with Kool-Aid Man's face on
Did
the
it
disc
come
tray.
with a disc of anything Kool-Aid related?
I think so, probably some Kool-Aid
Just
commercials.
like him blasting through the wall once.
Oh,
Yeah, I think so.
I have 3 more video or episodes.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay, I have 3 more episode shoutouts. 1, the episode where Patrick and SpongeBob have to paint
Yeah.
Mr. Krabs'
Yeah.
wall, and he has all those pictures.
Yeah. Just the way his house looks.
Yeah. There's many a great jokes in that episode.
And I mean, that's just a great example of SpongeBob doing like that classic comedy format. It's like a stand-up bit. It's like
Yeah.
just those things that are like so annoying in life. It's like when you're painting, it's impossible not to get paint anything, and they
Yeah.
take it to the extreme, and they literally paint it perfectly,
Yeah.
except for one thing.
Yeah.
And then when you try to fix it, it gets worse.
Also, okay, wait, real quick, the part where SpongeBob is opening the can of paint with the screwdriver, and Patrick is like, "Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!" It's still so funny, the pacing of that joke. And then he's like, "Patrick, the lid's already off." And then he's like, "Oh, good." And after being so stressed, he just takes out the huge hammer and just hits his paint can. It's such a funny joke. Oh my gosh.
Massive battle axe.
Oh yeah, that's right. So that episode has to get a shout out from me. Also, the episode, it's where SpongeBob and Patrick go against each other, and Patrick represents, the chum bucket, and SpongeBob represents the Krusty
The Olympics
Krab.
one, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, so many good
Oh,
jokes
yeah.
in that one.
My name's not Rick. That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite jokes in SpongeBob.
I also love when Patrick is getting introduced and you just hear this like, and then he busts through, like this big fish busts through the entrance gate, and he's like, "This isn't the real contestant. The real contestant is Patrick Star." And he like turns over and he's like in this little baby harness on this bigger fish.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Very good one.
I mean, yeah, there's too many good ones.
Yeah, just the one last shout out. This one, I'm not even sure if I think this is one of the greatest episodes, but my family was obsessed with it, and it's just because like every kid in my family so far has been a lifeguard at some point. Is
Oh.
the lifeguarding episode?
Yeah, I think that's a good episode.
It's
important.
It's a good episode, but like when it comes to my whole family resonating around an episode, it's definitely that one, because like they always will quote that episode, especially when someone is like working as a lifeguard that
Yeah.
summer. So
Anchor Arms. That's a good one.
yeah,
Anchor Arms.
yep,
Classic.
That one strikes me as like just a true classic.
Yeah.
You know, like
Some of the most
in
social
terms of actually
commentary.
also being a little bit older.
Yeah.
Also, Salty Spittoon is really good too.
Yeah, we talked about that. The Weenie Hut one.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's still good though. It's great. It definitely deserves a mention.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to. I'm just gonna give a blanket shout out to literally every episode of SpongeBob.
I mean,
Before the movie.
there's so many, but I love remembering a lot of these because they are so
Totally.
good.
Another one that I want to say that I think is great is the one where they play the board game with Mr. Krabs.
Oh my
go on the
gosh!
treasure
I
hunt.
love.
Because they-
Because
that one is the
go,
closest to like almost like a Heart of Darkness kind of
Yeah.
like
they go.
theming
It's
going
the one
on.
where they go like they walk 50 paces east, or they walk 50 paces west, and he goes, "Where's the X?" And Patrick says, he's like, "I thought you said 50 paces east," and he said, "Oh, 50 paces east? I thought you said west." And he's like, "West? What kind of compass are you looking at, boy?" And he goes, "This one, sir." And then it says, and then he just looks at it, it says west, and he's upset. And then they look at the map,
That's
of
just
their-
like solid writing. Like
Yeah.
it's just like a good joke.
and both of their eyes shoot out of their head to look at the map, and they fly
Yeah.
all over it, and then they go, with their eyes still attached to the map.
Yeah.
Hey SpongeBob, or hey Patrick, yeah. Is this the board from the board game we played earlier today? Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember why Mr. Krabs thought that was a good idea to follow that board to find the treasure.
No, I mean,
but-
I think he just gets like so obsessed with like
Yeah.
the idea because
it's
because
the Flying Dutchman's treasure. That's right.
yeah, and he thinks that like, also shout out to Davy Jones' locker and having it actually be a locker. But
In one of the later ones, when they go to Davy Jones' locker, Davy Jones is there.
Wow,
from
really?
from the Beach Boys. Yeah.
wow, that's
And see a Beach Boys reference. That's
Totally makes
that's
sense.
totally
SpongeBob.
cool because I mean they're as classic as the Beatles. You know, that's totally fine.
But with that episode, like it's because SpongeBob and Patrick are playing that game, and Mr. Krabs like thinks it's dumb or something, and then he starts playing it and he loves it.
Yeah.
And he gets so obsessed that he like it. I mean, the theme of the episode is like he takes the game too far.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess that's true.
he
That's
wants the game to be real life.
yeah. I mean, that one's.
I
good.
remember an episode when that kind of stuck with me, which was like, I think Mr. Krabs steals a pearl
Yeah.
from some like.
Yeah.
Oh,
From a
from the
giant
clam.
It's an
Yeah,
an
that episode's actually
environmental
like kind of
episode.
sad. Yeah.
And Patrick is chained down, getting shit thrown at him, and he's
Yeah, and he's like,
first he says something that's very like I don't know, somber. He's like, "I accept my punishment," and then he just starts eating the peanuts that are being thrown at him. He's like tied down, like he's just like this. He's like a witch hunt. They're just burning the witch of Patrick, and he doesn't know. He has no idea why he's captured. Is the funny part to me
Yeah.
too. He's like just standing there, getting shit thrown at him. Not a care in the world.
Krusty Krab pizza.
Yeah, that one sometimes
Yeah.
becomes my favorite episode of all
What
time.
is that one?
It's
Krusty
just
Krab
like
pizza.
the Krusty Krab decides for a new thing they're gonna start carrying
No,
pizza.
no.
and they're gonna
It's just
start
someone
delivering.
asked for a pizza, and Mr. Krabs just makes one.
Yeah.
because he's like, we're losing money if we
Yeah,
don't do
a
it.
guy calls after they close asking for pizza, and then SpongeBob and Squidward drive to the guy's house,
They deliver,
but they go the
it.
wrong way. Then they get out of the car because it's empty on gas. Then somehow the car gets full and drives away from them.
Yeah.
And then they have to find their way to
The
the guy's
whole
house.
episode is them trying to deliver the pizza.
Oh, okay.
And then they get there and he goes, "Where's my drink? You didn't order a drink. My Diet Dr. Kelp."
An interesting thing about that one as well is like Squidward stands up for SpongeBob at the end of that episode
Yeah.
because like they've been dying trying to deliver this pizza, and like
Yeah.
they finally get there and SpongeBob's so happy and he like gives them the pizza and the guy like refuses to take it because they didn't give him the soda, and Squidward's like, "This one's on the house," and then
Yeah.
he ties
Yeah.
him in the face with the pizza.
And
'cause
he
was
definitely-
mean to SpongeBob.
Definitely never ordered a soda.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, that's a
There's
good one.
That one with Bubble Bass where he wants the pickles or doesn't want?
Yeah.
Does want pickles.
No, he
Still
wants
no. Oh wait,
Well, that's one of the guy who hides the pickles under his tongue.
because he hides all.
Yeah.
He's got the pickles under the
That one
tongue.
stressed me out as a kid because I was like, how could there possibly not like he just had to do that one thing.
Yeah, there's
like,
literally
there
no
not be
way.
Like, makes you
pickles.
think like, oh my god, like people could just take advantage of people in restaurants.
Yeah, they definitely.
I think my favorite episode, still after talking about all of these, is probably still the one where SpongeBob goes to everyone's dreams.
That's a good one.
I
That's
don't know.
just a. That's just.
It's just
a
the kind of
classic.
episode for sure. Because like the main thing I liked with SpongeBob, I think, were just like the characters. So like
Yeah.
just
It's
That was
definitely.
like
was
an
also-
abstract exploration.
I also just like when shows play with the format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also remember the one where Patrick starts going to SpongeBob's school and he like ruins SpongeBob's.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
He's just like the bad kid who's always getting SpongeBob in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
I also like the one where SpongeBob gets like stolen by the chum bucket and Mr. Krabs and him sing that song to each other.
Yeah, that's such a good scene.
It's a great song. I think it's an
Yeah.
often forgotten SpongeBob
but
song.
also having their like form manifest out of the chimney smoke like
Yeah.
of both places.
Just
It's just
a
like
very
really good
artful scene.
animation. Yeah. Gosh.
That's a good one. What is the line? What's like the chorus of that one?
Just a greasy spoon.
Yeah. Without you. And it's got like a cute little piano line.
And Mr. Krabs like sings like the patty, the
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I mean,
counteracted by
that-
SpongeBob being like, a grill, it's a grill.
Yeah, I mean, as voice actors, you have to imagine that like when they go through those episodes, that must be. I bet being on the production of SpongeBob must have been so fun and creatively fulfilling. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I mean, yeah, you just get to try everything.
Yeah.
SpongeBob, as a cartoon, transcends other cartoons.
Oh
in-
yeah.
Just in almost every aspect. Like the voice acting's great, the writing's great, the animation is great. Like just everything about it is just like so top notch.
Yeah, and the characters are abstracted enough in terms of like their premise that they won't date. You know?
Yeah. I mean, they're just archetypes that
Yeah.
are slightly molded to work with the show better.
Yeah, where like Rocket Power is dated because it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
just during that time of like
And it's all
extreme
references.
sports.
I think one cool thing with SpongeBob also is like we're always saying like it was a great show. It was better than those cartoons, and like it became the most successful cartoon like
Yeah.
ever.
It
I think.
actually succeeded.
And like I think that's a cool argument for the fact that like children aren't that dumb.
Yeah.
Totally.
Definitely not.
You know,
Yeah.
and like a lot of people are like, whatever, you just throw on whatever, and a kid
Yeah.
will just watch it and not know the difference. And like, it's because I mean, those kids aren't consciously thinking about those things, but it's like, yeah, kids are pretty smart. They can tell quality and like,
Yeah. I mean, they know that.
they just end up caring for the characters, you know, and like,
And that's what
Be-
gives it
yeah.
staying power.
yeah.
Because kids get excited about stuff short term that's maybe more shallow. But
Like, yeah, I mean, like, literally every little kid at Fred Meyer these days is singing a song from Frozen.
Uh-huh.
But a while ago it was something else. And I'm not saying that Disney movies obviously have major staying power, but there's a difference between the flavor of the month and something like SpongeBob that
Yeah.
will stay around forever. Not forever, but you know what I mean? For a very, very long time.
Yes.
Before the end of the cast, I think it's important that we just give a little time to talk about the real secret, the greatest part of the SpongeBob legacy, the SpongeBob video games.
Some of the toppest quality video games. I think I'm going to say
the SpongeBob Flash game where you made Krabby Patties on Nick.com.
the Diner Dash style one?
Yeah.
That one is actually
That
pretty
one's a good game.
The new set of SpongeBob beat 'em up games are the worst games. They're so bad.
They're when I couldn't play it anymore. Like what? Like
How bad was this?
It was just a
It-
painful experience.
it was
like-
just so boring.
There is
just
nothing-
so
You just have an
boring.
attack button, and then you have like a turbo that charges up, and you use it every once in a while. Which, by the way, is a new addition in the new one. That wasn't a thing in the old game.
Ugh.
So you just run around
Made in
tapping
Unity.
the same button all
also
the time,
is
like
funny
a little
to
bit
me.
of 3D platforming. You're just attacking every enemy. You can't die. And the levels are the same. Like the animation, like the colors, everything doesn't
I can't
change.
believe how unvaried.
I like how
The environments
like
are.
licensed games destroyed beat 'em ups pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
I mean,
the
it's just
go-to type of gameplay for just shitty
Yeah.
games.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at first it was really good. Like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on SNES, like Turtles in Time is like one of the greatest, if not the greatest, beat 'em up.
It's probably the best.
I think the
beat 'em up.
What
one
about
game.
Final Fight?
It's up there with Golden Axe.
I mean, it might be better. Like
it's probably the best one.
I
The
like
one
Final Fight
licensed
a
game
lot.
that killed all licensed games for me were like I had I think the most horrible gaming experience ever with like a Fantastic Four movie based game.
Was it a PS1 era?
2.
I don't remember that.
And
We
I-
should do an episode on licensed
licensed
games.
games.
yeah, that'd be interesting.
Because I think all of us have.
Tumultuous relationship.
I definitely have enjoyed a few licensed
Every
games.
once in a while.
They're
a
not
cool
all
one
bad.
I
pops
was
up.
huge into the Harry Potter games. Like the
They're
first
interesting.
3.
There's a couple good ones.
Yeah, the first one on
They're
PC
not
is good.
I think there are. We'll have to talk about this.
Star
in the
Wars
cast.
platformers on Super Nintendo.
Those are good.
X-Men
Like,
Mutant
wait,
Academy.
with Dash Rendar or whatever.
No, the Super Nintendo like.
Oh, Super
platformer.
Nintendo.
Super
Those
Star
games
Wars.
are super good.
really, really hard.
Yeah, impossible. Especially. Okay, maybe we gotta say this. But are we done with SpongeBob Talk?
I think so.
Thank you, Steven Hillenberg, for
Yeah.
SpongeBob. My undying love.
Truly enriching our childhood.
I got
Enriching my life.
Hopefully this isn't in an open container.
I didn't touch it.
How do I take this out?
Hold on.
Do you want to open my also?
No, you guys will just all sing with me. I thought that I had everybody on my side. Then I went and blew it.
All sky high.
And now she won't even spare a passing glance. All just because I
I
ripped,
my pants.
When SpongeBob when Big Larry came just to put him down, a SpongeBob turned into a clown. And no girl ever wants to dance with the fool who went and ripped his pants. I know that I shouldn't curse, but the pain feels so much worse. But winding up with no one is a lot less fun than a burn from the sun or sand in your butt. And now I learned a lesson I won't soon forget. So listen and you won't regret. Be true to yourself, don't miss your chance, and you won't end up like the fool who ripped his pants.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Definitely the best original.